Your kindness shouldn't require self-abandonment. The people pleaser in you says, I don't want to upset them. The new healthy version of you is going to set boundaries that say, I don't want to upset me either. Welcome to Off the Memory Card, the podcast where photographers talk about everything but taking photos, because photography is only 10% photos and 90% building a life and business you love. I'm Kathleen Burns. Let's dive in. The other day, I was getting my hair done, and while sitting in the salon chair, I was responding to work emails and messages. And I said to my hair girl, I don't know why I always feel the need to add this little smiley face emoji to all of my messages. I guess I just want people to reassure them that I'm happy they're messaging. I don't want anyone to feel like they're bothering me. And she said, yep, that's the people pleaser in you. And I was like, dang it, you're right. I really thought I was past that phase. But it made me realize that some of us never really outgrow people pleasing. But I think that's okay, because even though it's still there, I think I've become really good at managing it. So that is what I want to talk about today. Let's start with what people pleasing really is. It is not a weakness. It is not fake kindness. But people pleasing shows up when we have a desire to be liked or we want to avoid conflict. It's rooted in wanting to be seen as easy, agreeable, low maintenance. I think the main reason is the fear of disappointing others. We see trying to make people happy as an act of kindness, but sacrificing your own peace to make others comfortable isn't kind, it's unhealthy. It's okay to want to make other people comfortable, but it's not okay to abandon yourself in the process. There is a whole slew of people-pleasing tactics that many of us do or have done. Some of them are harmless, but a lot of them are costing you. They are costing you time, money, and peace of mind. So let's start with the harmless ones. Well, mostly harmless. If you're doing these, you should absolutely work on them, but these are the ones that aren't necessarily costing you anything. Number one, over-apologizing. You feel the need to say sorry for everything. And if you're not careful, you're basically apologizing for existing. Number two, over-explaining decisions. So let's say this Thursday, your child has their kindergarten graduation, so you have blocked off your calendar for the day. Well, then a client messages needing a last-minute headshot, but they're only available on Thursday. And you're like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. My son has his kindergarten graduation and I'm supposed to bring the cake. I would definitely try to make it work for you, but I actually agreed to take some photos of the class. And, there's this other mom who has asked me if I could braid her daughter's hair. When you could have just said, sorry, I'm busy with my son's graduation. To be completely honest, you could have just said, I'm not available. But as a recovering people pleaser, I do understand the need to give a more human response. But you definitely did not need to give the play-by-play. Number three, constantly saying, it's totally fine. And it's crazy how easily that comes out of my mouth. And this comes from never wanting others to feel bad about something. So every time they apologize for something or ask for something, you say, it's totally fine. And finally, changing small preferences to accommodate someone else. Maybe you took a photo of a little girl holding a pink flower, and her mom is like, oh, it would be so pretty if that flower matched the purple in her dress. So you edit the photo to make the flower purple, even though it looked better as pink. Anyways, these are all the small things that people pleasers do that don't necessarily have a negative impact on themselves, but there are other tactics that do. Number one is discounting your services to avoid awkwardness. Let's say you are asked to photograph a sweet 16 birthday party and you tell them what your price is and they're like, well, we're spending this much on food and this much on the DJ and our photography budget is only X amount. They're not saying they can't afford you. They are saying they are only willing to give you a certain amount. And it's tempting to just agree to it and avoid that awkward conversation. But in reality, you shouldn't budge because it's costing you money. Stick to your guns. You can still be nice and say, I understand if you decide to change your budget, please let me know. And if I'm still available, I'd be happy to do it. That puts the ball in their court and allows you to walk away with your chin held high if they decide not to pay what you're charging. Then there's taking on sessions you don't want to do. Say you have had a long week and have worked your butt off. The only thing getting you through at this point is just knowing you have the whole weekend ahead to rest and spend time with your family or friends. Well, then someone messages you Friday morning saying their whole extended family is in town this weekend and they really want some photos because it's the only time they're all together. Everything in you wants to say no, so you can just rest and recharge. But you don't because you don't feel like you have a good reason. Let me tell you, resting is the best reason, and you owe them zero explanation. Just say you're unavailable. If you really want to be helpful, you can always recommend some other photographers. I do this all the time. Wish them well. You can even add an extra little message on there saying, hey, hope you have a great time with your family. Then there is not enforcing boundaries. We are talking about things like late arrivals, number of outfit changes, and reschedules. Make sure your clients know your policies in advance. If they're 5 minutes late, that's 5 less minutes of shooting time. If they want to reschedule, let them know that's another deposit they'll need to pay. And if you only agree to one outfit, don't let them talk you into two. And if they do, make sure they know how much extra that's going to cost them. Then there is answering emails and messages at all hours. This is one I am personally still working on. Set aside certain times to respond to messages. Immediately responding to everyone because you don't want to leave anyone waiting will cost you so much of your personal time. Okay, moving on to the next one, saying yes when your calendar is already full. There was this one time we were doing Christmas minis from 10 a.m. until 6 o'clock in the evening. Every 15 minutes was a new session with a 1-hour lunch break built in. Had some people message me last minute wanting one, and I squeezed them into that 1 hour that was supposed to be for lunch. By the end of the day, not only was I exhausted, I was famished. What I should have done is say, I'm so sorry, but we're fully booked. Here's how you can join my wait list in case there are any last minute cancellations. I definitely chalked that one up as a major lesson learned, and I have not repeated it since. Next is not raising your prices because you're afraid of disappointing people. And I get it. I am in one of those seasons as I speak. It's been a few years since I've raised my prices, and with inflation, I know that I really need to. My clients are all used to the current prices, so it does make it tough. But here in the not too far future, I will be giving them all a heads up, even allowing them a chance to go ahead and schedule their next session under my current prices. So those are some people-pleasing tactics we do that are costing us time, money, or peace of mind. So how do we recognize in real time that we're even doing it? Here are some red flags. You feel a pit in your stomach after saying yes. You immediately feel resentment toward the person that you just agreed to help. You start mentally complaining about something that you agreed to. You rehearse the conversation in your head afterward. You start thinking, oh, I said this, I should have said this, maybe I should have said this. And you're more worried about their reaction than your capacity. Like you're more concerned about upsetting them than your actual ability to help them. So when you find yourself in these situations, I want you to pause and really ask yourself, am I agreeing to this because it's something I want to do? Or is it because I don't want to make someone else uncomfortable? If you're not sure, say something like, let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. That buys you some time to figure it all out. So now that we've established what people-pleasing is and the ways we're doing it, let's dig deeper down into the emotional layer of why it is so hard to stop. People-pleasing often makes us feel safe, like we're in control. It sort of becomes your identity. People see you as the reliable one and someone who's easy to get along with. It can actually become part of your brand. And you may even find that it has helped you become successful. When you position yourself to always be available or willing to take less money and super flexible with your schedule, then yes, you are going to attract clients. But are they the right clients? Maybe they are, but are they treating you right? If not, you will experience burnout. You will start quietly resenting them. You will get overwhelmed and you risk losing your joy. You can still love photography, but hate your business if you build it on people pleasing. So how do we overcome this? Start with a little reframing of your mindset. It is good to want people to be happy. It is good to care. It is good to accommodate sometimes. But your kindness shouldn't require self-abandonment. The people pleaser in you says, I don't want to upset them. The new healthy version of you is going to set boundaries that say, I don't want to upset me either. So here are some practical ways to stop without feeling rude or cold. Have some pre-decision rules in place, like office hours, rescheduling policies, discount policies. It's easier to enforce rules that are already in place. Maybe even have them somewhere on your website so that you can send that link rather than explaining anything. Also, expect some discomfort in the beginning. When you first start telling people no, your heart will race. You are going to feel guilty, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Eventually, it gets easier and you'll probably enjoy saying no. I used to cringe over it, and now it makes me feel a sense of power. Like I am finally calling my own shots. I am in charge of my own life. I may never fully outgrow people pleasing. Those smiley face emojis, yeah, I'm probably going to keep sending those. But you may not outgrow it either. But being aware of it, making better decisions, having boundaries, it is all life-changing. You can still make other people happy without making yourself miserable. It's okay to want everyone to be happy. Just don't forget that you are one of those people. This is one of those episodes that I really hope changes someone's life. If you feel like it has helped you, pay it forward, send it to another fellow people pleaser so it can help them too. And if you have a free minute to give me a quick review, I would be so grateful. Reviews can help this podcast grow and allow these messages to reach more people. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Off the Memory Card. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like some more support on your photography journey, head over to usethatcamera.com.